I'm going to be ranking all the NFL teams for this upcoming season. So we obviously have Super Bowl contender teams, playoff teams, teams that I think are going to be at the edge of the playoffs, maybe in, maybe just out of the playoffs. Then we have teams that are like middle of the pack, just like your average blah teams, not very good. Then we have teams that have like a few wins, like under 5 wins. And then we have tank season, teams that are, looking at the top of next year's draft. So without further ado, let me close my eyes, move my mouse around, and see which team we land on first. And my mouse is over here, and the closest team is the Vikings. Okay, so this is an interesting team. I feel like they are the definition of an edge of playoffs team. Like, with Kirk Cousins, I feel like they're just always on the cusp of the playoffs. Like, they're solid, but they just can't get it done. So I'm going to put them there, and I'm going to rank teams, like, whichever one's closer to Super Bowl contender, like, that's better. Like, this is the better team, this is the worst. Because you guys have been telling me to do that, but I haven't been doing it, but now I'm actually going to do it because, Okay, let's go next. I don't know, let's just go random here. Let's go San Francisco. This is another interesting team because we don't really know what Trey Lance is going to be. I'm assuming they're going to start Trey Lance. I don't know. Jimmy Garoppolo is still on the team, but I have a feeling Trey Lance is going to be the starting quarterback. That is a very tough division, the NFC West. So you know what? I'm gonna put them as a playoff team for now. I don't know, like that whole team is just so good. Like Trey Lance just honestly has to be like a game manager for this team to make the playoffs. He doesn't really need to do anything crazy. Let's go with the Browns. Oof, the Browns is an interesting team. Listen, I'm not like all in on Cleveland. Like I don't know how Deshaun Watson's gonna play. Like I'm just not all in on this team. Tough division. I'm putting them at the edge of the playoffs, but ahead of Minnesota for the edge of the playoffs. That might be a hot take. It probably is a hot take. I just don't know yet, guys. Like, we haven't seen this team play with their new quarterback. Their new quarterback hasn't played in a full season. Like, I just don't want to overrank them before the season's even started, okay? Next, let's go with the Raiders. Probably the toughest division in football, the AFC West. Both the West are really tough. I'm going to put them middle of the pack just because that division is so good. Like they should really be like edge of the playoffs, but the AFC West, they're probably the worst team in that division, unfortunately. Next, let's go with the Lions. I'm gonna go tank season, but like listen, the Lions are heading in the right direction. Like I really like what Dan Campbell's doing there. I think they're definitely heading in the right direction, but they really need that franchise quarterback. Jared Goff isn't bad. Like he's a great bridge quarterback, but he's not their future. So I think they're really going to be looking towards next year's draft. Like I'm not saying I think these teams in the tank season are actually going to tank, but like they're not going to be picking outside the top 10. Next, let's go with the Eagles. As a Giants fan, I'm going to be totally unbiased here and put them at the edge of the playoffs. So they made the playoffs last year and they lost pretty bad to the Buccaneers. I mean, that was a terrible game, but listen, they traded for AJ Brown. Like they're really all in. They're like, all right, Jalen Hurts, are you the franchise quarterback? So with the improvements they've made, I mean, they even signed former Giant James Bradbury. Like I think they're still going to be an edge of the playoff team. I'm not going to put them right in there as a playoff team right now, but they're definitely like an edge of the playoff team. I don't really see them regressing from last season. All right, my clicker is on the Cardinals. This is another really interesting team. Like we don't know what's going to happen with Kyler Murray. They haven't offered him a new contract. Like what's going to happen here with Kyler Murray? I'm going to put them at the edge of the playoffs too. I'm going to put them like right here because I feel like there's a lot unknown with this team. They did make the playoffs last year after being one of the best teams in the league for the first half of the season. Then they totally collapsed. I mean, that's like a very Cliff Kingsbury thing. So I don't know. I'm not super confident in the Cardinals heading into this year. I'm going to put them at the edge of the playoffs, but I don't really see them as a Super Bowl contender or really a strong playoff team. Next, we got the Patriots. Let's do the Patriots here. Mac Jones going into year 2. They lost really bad in the playoffs too in the first round. I don't really see them as a playoff team this year. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to put them as a middle of the pack team right above the Raiders here. Next, let's go with the Falcons. I think it's like tank season. I don't know. I'm not very confident in this Falcons team. They did draft Desmond Ridder, Drake London. Like they have some pieces on offense. I think Marcus Mariota could be really solid, but I don't know. Like I feel like this team is really looking for, like I don't know. I don't know if Ridder's going to be the franchise quarterback. Like I don't know. This team, I don't really see them making many moves this year. Let's go with Green Bay. You got to put them as a playoff team. Even with Devontae leaving, I think the Packers are going to be in for definitely a tougher year than last year, but I still think they make the playoffs because of that division. Like, I don't know, maybe Minnesota could even make the playoffs. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota makes the playoffs. But yeah, it's going to be a tougher year for Green Bay, but I still think they make the playoffs. We got the Bears here. I don't really like the way they drafted. Do we think they're going to get a few wins or tank season? You know what? I'm going to put them here, and I'm going to move the Falcons here. That's how I'm going to have tank season there. I got to put someone in a few wins. Like, I feel like I should have just made this one section here. Next, let's go with the Rams. I definitely still think they're a playoff team. I'm not going to put them... I mean, they are a Super Bowl contender. Yeah, I got to put them as a Super Bowl contender. I can't not make them a Super Bowl contender after last year in, like, their rosters. You know, pretty similar. You know, Von Miller obviously left. I keep forgetting Von Miller left. I keep forgetting he's on Buffalo. Like, I don't know why I keep forgetting that, but I still got to put him as a Super Bowl contender because they didn't really, you know, decline too much. Let's go with the Dolphins here. I'm going to put them at the edge of the playoffs. I got to see what Tua can do. Like, I'm not hating on Tua. I feel like Tua is the most overhated player in the NFL. He takes so much criticism, which stinks because he seems like a really, like, nice, down-to-earth guy, and he takes so much criticism. Got to see what Tua can do, but they definitely have the pieces if Tua does perform. Let's go with the Cowboys here. I'm going to make them a playoff team. I still think they're the best team in the NFC East. Even though I'm a Giants fan, they're still the best team. They have the best quarterback in the NFC East. I'm gonna make them a playoff team. I still think they could possibly or probably win the NFC East. We got the Saints here. Probably put them as a middle of the pack team. I don't know. Like, the Saints are a team that's kind of confusing to me. I'm gonna put them as a middle of the pack team ahead of the Raiders. Let's go with the Jets here. The Jets, I'm a New York Giants fan, but I definitely don't hate the Jets. Like, I always root for the Jets, too. Like, you know, we got to bring New York football back to its glory. Like, we need both New York football teams to perform. So, I think they definitely had a really good draft. I think they definitely have a lot of great young pieces. So, I'm going to put them in a few wins category. Like, I think they're definitely going to make strides this year. They're not going to be a playoff team, but I think we're going to see some more from Zach Wilson. And, yeah, I'm kind of really excited to watch this young Jets team, you know, develop. Bills, I got to put them right up here. I think they're the Super Bowl favorite right now. I know everyone's saying that, but yeah, for right now, they got to be right up there. 1A for Super Bowl contender. We got the Seahawks. I kind of want to put them in tank season here. They weren't good last year with Russ, even though he missed part of the season, but, like, they still had him as their quarterback. I don't know. Do I want to put them in tank season or a few wins? I'll put them in tank season. Like, I don't know. I really don't think Pete Carroll should still be the coach there. I was kind of surprised they didn't let him go. Next, we got the Steelers. I think they're going to be middle of the pack. They have a really good defense. I'm going to put them ahead of the Raiders, but that division is just so tough. The AFC North is going to be really, really tough. If they were in the NFC East, like, I think they could win the NFC East easily, but they might come in last in the AFC North, like, which is crazy. So, yeah, we got the Ravens coming back from a bunch of injuries. They're definitely going to be Super Bowl contenders. Missed the playoffs last year, but we're dealing with injuries to so many key players. I really think they're going to be a Super Bowl contender this year. They had a great draft, too. Really good draft. Then we got the Titans, and I'm going to be honest. I'm going to put them at middle of the pack. I know they were a 1 seed last year, but I don't trust Ryan Tannehill. They trade A.J. Brown. I don't know. I know Derrick Henry's coming back. Like, I know they have a really good coach in Vrabel. I don't know. I'm just not really all in on Tennessee. I'm not, like, I don't know. I just don't trust them. Next, we got Washington. The Commanders. Drafted Sam Howell. Signed Carson Wentz. Carson's going to be the starter. You know what? I'll put the middle of the pack. I don't really know how to feel about this team. I don't think they're going to do anything spectacular. Defense is still good, but... Next, we got the Chiefs. Obviously, got to put them in there as a Super Bowl contender. I'm going to put them ahead of the Rams. Bills and Chiefs right up there. That was a great game last year in the playoffs. Broncos. This is a playoff team, in my opinion. And I'm going to put them right there, actually, in front of the Packers. Then we got the Bengals, also a playoff team. Going to put them actually in front of the Green Bay Packers as well. It's going to be a tougher road than last season because, like I just said, the AFC North is absolutely stacked this year. But I still think they're going to be able to return. They really, return to the playoffs. They really beefed up that O-line, made it much better. So I'm excited to see how Joe Burrow can play with, actually 2 seconds in the pocket, not just one. Panthers, it's got to be tank season. I don't even know what's going on with the Panthers. It's got to be tank season. Colts, I think they're a playoff team. Because I put the Titans in middle of the pack, that means that the Colts are probably going to be the team from that division to win that division, go to the playoffs. They should have won that game last year versus Jacksonville. I mean, that was horrendous. They just needed to win versus Jacksonville to get into the playoffs. Obviously lost, didn't make the playoffs, but they're coming back this year with Matt Ryan. He has the experience. I really like this team. I really liked this team last year. I really like this team this year. Texans. I'm actually going to put the Texans in a few wins. Davis Mills actually played pretty decent last year. I think this Texans team exceeded expectations last year. Yes, I know they didn't have a good season, but I literally thought this Texans team was going to have maybe like a win last year. I think they exceeded expectations a little bit. They still have a long way to go, but I think they're really going to be able to, put together some wins. Honestly, I really think they are. Just a few wins. I'm not saying anything crazy. That division, it's not a tough division. Again, the AFC South, Jaguars, Colts, Titans, them. So, I think they can put together a few wins. Then we got the Jaguars, and I'm also going to put them in a few wins. I'm going to put them ahead of the Texans. I finally think we're going to see Trevor Lawrence be like Trevor Lawrence in the NFL this year. He was atrocious last year, but that Urban Meyer situation was the worst situation a rookie quarterback could be in. That was terrible. I feel bad for every single player that was on that team. So I really think we're going to see him start to look like the Trevor Lawrence we saw at Clemson again this year, which I think is going to allow them to get a few wins. Let's go with the Buccaneers here. Got to put them as a Super Bowl contender because Tom Brady's back, and he didn't come back just to make the playoffs and lose. He's trying to get another Super Bowl. They're a Super Bowl contender in my opinion. And we got the Chargers and the Giants left. Two of my favorite teams. Well, the Giants are my favorite team. And I also really like the Chargers. I had a dream the Chargers won the Super Bowl last night. And I've been talking about the Chargers for the past 2 seasons. I think they're a Super Bowl contender. Not to be super biased here, I'm going to put them as a playoff team. I'm going to put them ahead of the Broncos. I think they're probably the best out of all these teams here. I don't want to put them in Super Bowl contender yet because I don't want to be too biased, but I really think this team could make the Super Bowl. I really, really believe. Should I just put them in Super Bowl contender? No, I'm not, because I don't want to be super biased. And then we have the Giants, and honestly, I'm just going to put them in a few wins. I still think they're really, really rebuilding, and I'm going to have my full record prediction come out for the Giants this year, but they're rebuilding. In my opinion, that's what's happening. I don't expect much this year, and I just want to see, some touchdowns. Because last year, I saw multiple games with no touchdowns. So I'm looking forward to seeing at least one singular touchdown in every game. So that is it for this video, guys. This is my, way too early tier ranking, post-NFL draft tier ranking. I'll probably do another one of these or a few more of these before the season starts because my opinions are probably going to change by tomorrow. And yeah, guys, that is it. If you like this video, make sure you drop a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. And if you stayed all the way to the end of this video, you should comment the secret word. The secret word is lights. Lights? I don't know why. Lights. Lights. Lights, like lights. I don't know. Lights. All right, guys, that is it. Peace.